Before we dive in, I want to go through some tips for working with the Divi theme. Understanding a few key things up front can make the process of building your site much easier. First, in order to edit a page, you always want to click the Enable Visual Builder link in your top admin bar. If you don't see this bar on your site, be sure you are logged into your WordPress dashboard, as this bar only appears for logged-in users. Second, this little circle at the bottom with 3 dots in it is kind of like your Divi control panel. Click on it to see options such as adding or deleting blocks or saving your changes. Related to that, my third tip is to save as often as humanly possible. Divi does autosave your edits, but don't rely on that. Just click on these 3 little dots at the bottom and click Save whenever you make any changes. Fourth, it helps to understand the basic building blocks that Divi uses. There are 3 main building blocks you'll be using: modules, rows, and sections. Now don't worry about memorizing what I'm about to tell you. I think that a little background will really help here, but you'll become very comfortable with Divi blocks as we set up your website. The smallest block in Divi is what's known as a module. All of your content appears within a module. There are many types of modules available, such as text, images, sliders, testimonials, and maps. When you're editing your site, the module editing controls are always gray. So on the demo site we're creating, if I hover over the Hello, I'm Anne header, you can see this gray box pops up, and that tells me that this is where I can edit this module. The middle-sized block in Divi is called a row, and within rows you can have either 1 column or multiple columns. When editing, the row controls are always green. So again, if I hover over this header, you can see my green row boxes right here. And the largest block is known as a section. Think of sections as the building blocks of your site. They basically stack on top of each other to separate content. The section controls are always blue. Hovering over the same header, if I move up and to the left a little bit, I see my section controls. Fifth, let's talk about copying and pasting text. If you are copying and pasting from a text editor that has formatting, like Google Docs or Microsoft Word, you are going to want to paste in what's known as plain text instead of formatted text. That's because we want the text to take on the formatting of the website. We don't want it to appear the same as it does in your document. So if you're on a Mac, you want to do Edit, Paste, and Match Style. This will strip your text of any formatting, and you'll see me do this throughout our tutorial. Finally, a quick tip to help you avoid getting overwhelmed. If I click on the module settings for this header, you can see I have a ton of options. In addition to the Content tab, I have a Design tab and an Advanced tab. And even though this text looks simple, there are a million different things I can change about it. My advice for you is do not attempt to click through every single option for every piece of content on your site. If you do that, you'll waste a ton of time and quickly get frustrated. Instead, only look for the options that you need to change. So for example, if I look at this header and I think, I'd really like this to be darker and a little bit smaller, I'm just going to be on the lookout for the font size and the color options within the Design tab. I'm not going to go through and try to check every single option and change all of them. If this doesn't make sense to you right now, don't worry, because I'll walk you through exactly how to change the most important options. The only reason I mention this is in case you want to add modules or change options that I'm not covering in this course. Now let's get started building the homepage.